It's not been a great start, Paul.
It never is.
No, I'm just watching an ad.
We're live, quick! Get on with your lives. Wow, cool, good on them. Hi. I'm going to try and get some comments up for you in a moment.
There's the live chat. Sweet. Hi, Quinn, C6. Hi, Joe Hansen. E-Lad. John O'Fitz 11. Joe Gomes. Nice.
Gomes.
Okay, so we're live, and the comments are coming up on the screen. Is the sound working? I'll have to mime that for you.
Wow, that doesn't work that well. Can't read the comments on there.
It's good. It's good on your phone.
Oh, beastie. Cool. Well, we've turned Spotify off upstairs for nothing. Yeah, anyway, we're here, we're testing the thing out. We're going to hopefully bring back the daily live shows, or the daily news shows a little bit more regularly. Maybe not daily. Maybe we'll just call them news shows. But yeah, a couple of things to discuss. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a Reds News Roundup show. About 45 minutes to an hour, looking at all the ins, outs, discussion topics centred around Liverpool's transfer needs, etc., leading into the January transfer window. That'll be up on the redmentv.com. Steve's off, so I'll be hosting that one this week, so there's a reason to turn up. But a couple of things that have kind of happened last night that we thought that might inform some of the stuff we discuss tomorrow. Under 23s played Arsenal under 23s yesterday. We won 3-2. 2 goals from Harry Wilson, I believe, and a goal from Shea Ojo. And, Chris, 45 minutes of action for Joe Gomes. Now, he was withdrawn at half-time.
Yeah.
And we were talking with Lewis, who's going to record his extra time show today. And he was saying he didn't know whether he was injured or whatever. Apparently, that was a preordained decision to bring him off after 45 minutes. So it leads to us to question whether there's a chance that we might see him involved with the first team sooner rather than later. And if that's the case, is that a good thing?
Certainly. I think it is.
Certainly.
He's a good player, Paul. He's a player who was played at a position under Brendan Rodgers. Hasn't been fortunate enough to have a run of games under Jurgen Klopp, but a player that everybody at Liverpool...
Or even a game.
Yeah, or everybody at Liverpool knows he's a good player, and we've got a few weaknesses now and a few worries about our defence. You know, you're looking at Dejan Lovren's missing quite a lot of games, although he's in good form. Lucas and Klavan, we don't seem to have quite decided, or Klopp doesn't seem to have quite decided who is the best backup centre-back. Yeah. He's another class act, Joe Gomes, and I think we need to get him game time where we can. And if it means playing 45 and sitting on the bench, and playing another 45 and sitting on the bench just in case he needs to come on, and I think that's probably a good way of doing it with youngsters, because you don't want them playing 90 minutes, especially if he's being rushed back, but in general, if he was fit, you don't want him playing 90 minutes and then sitting on the bench the next day. Well, because you don't know when you're might need him. Maybe,
yeah. It'd be interesting to see whether that 45 minutes was literally he would have played that regardless. There was a hint on the Echo website about it was informed by Lovren's injury. So whether that's a case of either played 60 or 70 or whatever, and they've said there's a possibility we might need him for the bench against Borough. Yeah. So in that instance, we need to make sure that he's probably not going to... He won't get any minutes against Borough, barring some cataclysmic injury.
And that's what I'm saying. If we pick up an injury in the 3rd minute, he's okay to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We've got some people, some questions coming in already. To be honest with you, are you going to answer our questions?
Yes. There we go. We're done with that now.
Is this always live on Tuesdays? It is today.
It's always live today.
We are gonna try and do at least one YouTube live every single week and one Facebook live every single week. So go and check us on Facebook as well, the Redmen TV.
Yeah. I think we're talking about potentially doing this on Mondays as a regular thing. We'll see how well that pans out, because inevitably with football, Liverpool's fixtures move around and basically everything gets shoved up a hoop.
Milesy20 says, great sub show on the previous match, lads. Thank you very much, Milesy. One of my favourites to do, actually.
It was surprisingly enjoyable, wasn't it? And what's been great is the response, because we put that clip out of you talking about the fans and how we need to react at the moment, and I think the response to that's been astounding. It should come as no surprise, really, that the response is that good, because everything you said is spot on, and I actually thought the way that you said it was very well done as well. Yeah, well, it probably would have reached slightly further, but it wouldn't have had the same. It wouldn't have reverberated as well if you'd had to overthink what you were saying. Often the things that you say, I mean, I'll phrase this right. you don't often overly consider the things that you say, you know what I mean, when they come up, but there was a nice balance there of, you'd had a little bit of a think about it, but it wasn't scripted, which was...
Never is.
Never is. Never is. Apart from the
Basically,
first 3 episodes of this show on the chat, you can go back and watch them, they are scripted.
Yeah, massively. Here's a question for you, Paul.
It's why they're really funny.
Why does Paul hate FIFA, says Finn Bailey?
I don't hate FIFA, apart from the organisation. I don't hate it, I just don't like it. There's a difference. Hate's a very strong word. I hate manx and racists and paedophiles. Hate's a very strong word. You've got. I've just jumped manx in with paedophiles. It's far off. No, it's done.
Unless we scripted this. Did we script this?
We never scripted it. No, I don't. But the thing is that we've said this before. I don't enjoy the football on FIFA. I just don't find it as fun. I don't think it's as good as the football on Pro Evo, albeit the gameplay and the actual gaming around it's a lot better on FIFA.
Ollie Daly says, how come you two don't go to wankers? It's 2 separate comments. I think he's got himself a little bit confuddled.
Why don't we go? Is this like some sort of special club that he goes to on a weekend and he's asking us if we want to come along too?
I think it's like the young hipster, like Doggers Society have now moved off to the young hipster wankers society. I don't know, Ollie.
You're going wanking this weekend.
He's come back. We need a new fan channel. Make one.
Yeah, you can knock yourselves out by all means. I will look forward to watching that. Please do send us the URL. Good luck.
Sweat James says catcom.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the comments?
I feel like this is going down.
Does anyone have anything actually they want to talk about with regards to Joe Gomez and Shea Ojo as well?
Yeah, so Shea Ojo, really good. He more than anything, it's a big boost to have him back. We touched upon this on the final word, that we are lacking him big time, and not like he's this saviour that's going to come and
is.
Yeah, exactly. He's a young kid with first team experience who was ready this season to kick on and be a useful member of the squad. You know, we saw what he could do. Got a couple of goals and an assist or two toward the back end of last season. Looked really promising, and he'd have played games. Yeah. Not started many, if any, this season, but we'd have definitely seen someone like him off the bench against West Ham at the weekend if he was fully fit and available. So that might be, I'm not saying that's the answer to our problems, and that doesn't mean we don't still need to go and reinforce in that position in January, but it means that we know Sadio Mane's going, we know Klopp wants to buy one more winger. If we've got Ojo plus the Mane replacement and then Mane coming back, that's probably a good amount of players to have available for those positions.
I think the Shea Ojo one's quite interesting for me because the back end of last season, he was really good. And he was playing in the games that obviously we were playing and trying to fight to get to a final for the Europa League. And he was playing in the league games at the time and quite often with Christian Benteke, if I remember well. But what was interesting about the last game against West Ham is we threw so many crosses into the box, and I don't think they were the right type of crosses. Whereas I think Shea Ojo got a couple of assists for Benteke, and maybe he could link up with Origi quite well. And you know, that youth and enthusiasm, sometimes a young pairing can work well together. And I wonder whether he's suited to playing with Origi more than Firmino on the left.
Well, it's interesting because he's left-footed. You know, you've got an option to mix things up there. You can actually play him as an actual winger. If you're going to play Mane on the right and play him on the left, when you've got some real natural width there, or you go for the whole inverted option if you want to. And we know Ojo can be a danger cutting in from the right-hand side. He's got that great goal of cutting in from the right in the League Cup, I think it was last season. Absolutely. More of that. I'm excited to see him back. Players like that, they need to be fit and available. They need to be playing football because these are the formative years, and particularly for those kind of flair attacking players, you can lose. You get that initial burst at the start of your career when you got bags of pace, you're not totally laden with injuries that you've been picking up over the years, blah blah blah. You can miss out on that if you're not.
Well, I suppose just to show the other side of the argument, Rolf Harris, one of my favourite artists and musicians of all time, by the way.
And also a paedophile.
I don't think Ojo is the answer. The form we're in, it'll put too much pressure on the bloke. I still think we need to buy a winger.
We don't. Oh yeah. Well, I think I said that.
No, but you know, it's the pressure thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's the pressure thing.
Exactly. But I sort of agree. But also, he's 19, 20. I'm not saying, again, we're not going, Ojo, here he is. It's Ojo, hey! Standing ovation, here we go. Lay out the red carpet because he's here to fix all our problems. He's not that good. He's good enough to be a squad player. And I think that's what we'll see from him. I'd like to see him in the next 3 or 4 games get back on the bench and start to get a few minutes off the bench, because there will come a game. It's not even for December I'm asked about. It's January, because the FA Cup comes back on the 7th or 8th, I think it is, we're playing. I'd like to see him fit and available for that game, because that's the last opportunity really, unless we get through and we draw another more lower league opposition, that we're really going to get a chance to make some wholesale changes and really experiment with the players.
So here's an interesting one. WQR, guys, do you think that the atmosphere at Anfield is because of tourists or middle-aged season ticket holders who have experience being there a long time and just stop singing / become entitled?
I personally don't think I think everyone likes easy answers on these things, and if there was an easy answer, it would be easily fixed and there'll be actions taken towards it. I think there's pools of all different kind of people and genres and ages and backgrounds. I think that is because it's quite specific on that, the middle-aged season ticket, blah, blah, blah. But I know loads of middle-aged season ticket holders who fucking love it. Like, I'm not far off one myself. You know what I mean? It's not too many years till I'll be one, and I still, maybe my enthusiasm will wane in that time. But I love going to the match. I love singing. I love making noise. I think it's a combination of, there is a percentage of people who turn up who come to watch it because we're going on this once in a lifetime holiday to Liverpool. What can we do while we're there? Look, not every one of us, we've either considered it or we would probably do it. If you go to New York, you spend a week in New York, you probably would take in like a Mets game or a Yankees game or the Giants or whatever, you know what I mean, just to round out your whole experience. That we'll have that. But equally, yeah, it's unenthusiastic people at they're the people that fucking kill it. Doesn't really matter where they're from.
Yeah, I think, as you say, I agree with you 100%. You said, when we were talking about this years ago, you said a great way that might be able to fix it is to get people to queue up to go into the Kop from whatever time in the morning. And that's kind of always stuck with me, because I just think that you're going to get people, and I'm just repeating your point in fairness, but these might not have seen it or heard it, is you're going to get people going into the Kop who want to be there, and the earlier they get there, the more they kind of want to be there. And that's always stuck with me. But the big thing for me is just not being able to sit next to your mates. I've said it so many times on so many shows. When you're just one person in the middle of a crowd, I'm not a chance starter. Yeah. Never have been, never will be. No. Tom, by the way, is. Yeah, Tom will quite happy do it. He's got a fucking big voice on him.
I'll do it in public when I'm drunk, but weirdly I'm less inclined to do it at the match. But you can have a laugh with it, because if you do it on your own, you just feel like an idiot when it doesn't work. Whereas if you do it with your mates, you go, come on, 1, 2, 3, and you get it's far easier to start a chant with 2 of you shouting at the top of your voice than it is 1 of you, because there exists in that realm of like the realm of terror when you start singing at the top of your voice and no one else goes. And that takes a lot of bottle to be able to go, that hasn't worked, that hasn't taken up, I'll breathe, and I'll try again in 5 minutes time.
A lot of bottle.
Greg Vignall chant never took off, and I've never recovered.
In some cases, just a lot of ale.
Yeah.
Because I see loads of drunk people just going for it and going for it and going for it. And in the end, the Kop kind of feels sorry for them.
Worse, yeah.
And that's cool as well. Dave Sponheim, slightly off topic, but so what? Redmen TV killed Aubrey and pretended he got a job in London.
I've wanted to kill Aubrey. I've known Aubrey since I was 11. That's a lot of years to know a man as pungent as Aubrey Reynolds. So no, we didn't. It's unfortunate that he's gone. We miss him terribly.
I actually texted him and said I missed him before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he text you back?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Can't remember. In January, Chris Jowett says, we need a left-back, centre-back and a centre-forward if Sturridge leaves. I can't see Sturridge leaving in January.
I could see Sturridge leaving. On the scale of likelihood, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. Just that's how the scale of likelihood's measured, in case you're wondering. I don't think it's outside the realms of possibility. If he's fit and he'll fit. It's down to him.
There you go. That's the first problem.
Yeah, there we go. First hurdle, flat on your face. It's down to it, because if he really, really wants to go, then I don't think we'll. And if we get it depends how Moneyball will be. And if someone comes in with like a £30 million plus offer for Daniel Sturridge, for a guy who's not really getting a lot of football, and he's eager to go and get first team football, and maybe 30's a bit cheap, to be honest. But
yeah, I think it could be. I just can't see. Well, maybe it's not a team in England. Maybe that's my football knowledge has dwindled massively from outside England nowadays. But I can't see him going to any of the other clubs in England. You know, the bigger clubs anyway. Man United, can't see them wanting him.
No, he's not going to go.
Arsenal,
Well, there are no bigger clubs than Liverpool, obviously. But it won't be that. It'll be a West Ham, or it'll be a
And I can't
Stoke.
see him wanting to go there. That's the thing.
Yeah, but then Daniel Sturridge, you know, he's not soft. He knows that the options aren't there for him, because if he doesn't want to go to if he wants to go to a top tier football club, he's at one, and that's the best he's going to get. He's likely to get anytime soon. If he wants to, you get the mentality all the time, don't you? Is that if someone comes and go, we love you, Daniel. We want to make you essential to everything we do at this football club. We're going to make you the main man. And you know what? Someone like West Ham, look, they're in dire form this season, but they've got that big stadium, for better and for worse. The potential for that club to get into Europe, if they're able to recreate more consistently what they did last year, which is the plan, he might buy into the notion of that. I mean, a lot of people have bought into it, and it's gone massively tits up this season. But go and play with some good players at West Ham. You know, go play with Payet for half a season.
So apologies. I can't find the comment, but someone wanted us to talk about Brannigan potentially going out on loan to Bolton.
We
Tom,
will.
Is the stream okay, mate? It's just gone dark. Oh.
Yeah, we will be discussing the Brannigan thing on the Red News Roundup tomorrow. So if you want to hear us talk about Cameron Brannigan, go to redmentv.com and subscribe. Red News Roundup coming out late tomorrow, filming it tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be discussing, I haven't got the agenda with me, there's a Jamal Lascelles from Newcastle we're being linked with. There's a centre forward from Sassuolo in Italy that we're linked with a £20 million move. There's an Atalanta midfielder that apparently his agent's coming over for talks. Chris Kirkland talking about Jordan Pickford, that kind of stuff. There's loads of stuff we're going to be discussing on that show. Very, very interesting stuff. Should we do one more comment and then let's get on with our
Rishabh Singh, why aren't more questions being asked of our goalkeeping coach?
You know what? Loads of people have tweeted this, and they've been tweeting it on and off. And we have actually had this conversation a few times, probably behind the paywall. But I don't. Andy Heaton actually put this quite well on Twitter last night, and he said it's one of those situations, I'm paraphrasing, that if you don't work with John Achterberg day in, day out, you've got no real concept of what he does, and so it's hard to make a judgment on it.
Funnily enough, me, Tom and Si were talking about this last night, and I was on the Anfield talk on Sunday night, and they were talking about it, and someone took the view of they need to sack Achterberg and stuff, and I was like, look, my first thing when someone makes a point is you think, hang on a minute, are you being right there? I think everybody does that, don't they? And he was like, you know, he only played for Tamir, just forget that argument, because Jose Mourinho was playing, days didn't get very far, you know what I mean? And he's one of,
was a player.
Exactly, you don't need to be a top draw player to be a good coach or a good manager. I think that argument can just be stripped.
Yeah.
It's just
was it Arrigo Sacchi who said, I didn't realise you needed to be a horse to become a jockey?
Yeah, no, that's a good one, and you know, fucking what a top manager as well, like AC Milan legend. But when you look at it and you go, all right, Klopp's come out last year and said he doesn't know anybody that knows as much about goalkeeping as John Achterberg. He's doing his UEFA Pro A licence, which is not just goalkeeping. He's done the highest level of goalkeeping coaches. So I would trust that he knows how to coach goalkeepers with a pen and a paper. Right? And the thing is, Klopp's area of expertise probably isn't goalkeeping. So and Simon made this point actually, and it's that you have to kind of probably trust the goalkeeping coach to do a little bit more, because whereas you can oversee your coaches, you kind of think. My point on it is, I don't know how good a man manager he is, and maybe Klopp doesn't see that, or maybe he does see that and he realises there's no problems. But when you're working with 2, maybe 3 goalkeepers really closely, you need to form that bond and be able to man manage them properly, but also kind of be, I'd guess, quite pally with them at the same time, because you're off doing your own thing fairly regularly. It's that. You can measure how good somebody is at exams all you want, but it's your work experience, isn't it, almost, in that regard? And that's where I wonder whether he's good or not.
Yeah, I just don't know. I think I can understand that there looks like there's enough evidence now, you know, because since he's been in, our goalkeepers have been really poor, and even Pepe Reina, who was good, became really poor, and we haven't had... But I do wonder that we haven't had... People forget that Pepe Reina was the best goalkeeper we had since possibly Grobbelaar. You know what I mean? Realistically, and then you look at it, Liverpool have had Liverpool's great goalkeepers have been very, very few and far between in the last 30 odd years of this football club. And maybe there was just a perfect storm of Pepe just was a fucking great find, great goalkeeper, and we had Javi Valero who was really good at what, and maybe they were just so spot on.
It's that stuff that I'm talking about, the man management, and then when it changed and it went to Achterberg, maybe it went downhill.
Yeah.
One thing is though, I know that Liverpool had Joe Corrigan as a goalkeeping coach for fucking years, and he ruined loads of goalkeepers. From the outside looking in, you just don't know.
That was the narrative, wasn't it? Yeah, we never knew whether he was doing it right or whatever. Or just, do we have the right? Have we got the wrong coach or the wrong personnel? You know, and I guess time will tell. I would suspect we'll know by the end of next summer. Yeah. Because they've now brought their choice of goalkeeper in. Mm-hmm. And if the guy in there is not capable of getting the best out of the guy that they think is the goalkeeper that they want, maybe they'll look and address that. But yeah, I say there's no way to know. I would also back that up and say it does kind of look, or is starting to look like maybe Achterberg isn't all that. But again, I just don't know enough. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I say we'll be doing a few more of these live streams potentially. We'll make it a regular thing. We'll let people know when they're going to be in advance as opposed to just shitting them out. Thomas do this wonderful thing like, I have no idea how to turn this off.
Stop streaming in OBS.
Thomas going, this always fills you with confidence when the man behind the cam does this.
In fairness, I didn't fucking brief him, so...
No, we basically, Tom was walking around downstairs and we went...
I found the button.
Yes. And we just roped them in and said, do this, and then we've left them running. Yeah, brilliant. Go and subscribe to redmentv.com, it's great. Residence Roundup will be fascinating. Get it all primed and ready for the transfer window opening in January. We'll be doing a live watch-along stream tomorrow for Borough, which will look a bit like this, only the graphics will be niftier. No pressure. Yeah, anyway, thanks very much for watching.
They'll be different. They'll be the same graphics in a different order.
Tom, got your finger at the ready? 3, 2, 1.